Oh no. Hello. Hi everyone and welcome to my very first live stream narcissistic abuse recovery Q&A on YouTube. So this is my first go, guys, at trying to stream out to all the platforms at once. So I'm just going to pull up the comments and yeah, let me know if you can hear me okay. Let me know who's out there. And of course, as you always do, let me know whereabouts in the world you're tuning in from. Okay, so just waiting for people to come on board. Okay, so live. Okay, I think we're going live on Instagram. Okay, all right. So for those of you who haven't joined in on any of my live streams before, I'm Nova. And I'm a professional counsellor here in Brisbane, Queensland, Australia. And I'm also the author of Fake Love, Understanding and Healing from Narcissistic Abuse. Now, I've been doing these live streams forever on Instagram and Facebook, but I've just started to kind of branch out and see if I can get on YouTube and a couple of my other platforms at the same time. So, bit of an experiment going on tonight, guys. So, as you join in, let me know, whereabouts in the world you're tuning in from. And I'm just going to wait a little while here for a few more people to join. Okay, while that's going on, I'm just going to check to see if we're going live on Instagram. That appears to be working. And appears to be working on YouTube too, which is awesome. Okay, so guys, I'm Nova. Many of you will have been following me on Facebook and Instagram, and I'm just starting to branch out onto YouTube. So welcome to all my followers on YouTube and TikTok. Not able to live stream there today, but I've been doing these forums forever. So if you're in a toxic relationship, if you've been listening to my podcast, Fake Love and Flying Monkeys, then I'm assuming that you've been in a toxic relationship or that you know someone who has. And you've been listening to my podcast because you're after answers. You're wanting to know what is going on. You're wanting validation for your trauma. Why does this person do this to you? So this is the forum for you. So guys, I'm just going to wait a little while longer, a few more minutes while we wait for people to join in on the live stream. So welcome to all my new followers. Okay. If you're just joining, just comment hi in the comment section and let me know whereabouts you're tuning in from. I'm in Brisbane, Queensland, Australia, and I counsel people in my role as a professional therapist all over the world. So make sure if you'd like to have that one-on-one session with me, just see on my bio in the description, but I work exclusively with victims and survivors of narcissistic abuse. I'm here on these forums to answer your questions. Okay. So while I'm waiting for people to show up for the live stream, I'm going to talk about a little bit more about what I was discussing in my latest podcast, which had to do with, for those of you who haven't been listening and are after a great narcissistic, toxic relationship podcast, please look out for my podcast, Fake Love and Flying Monkeys. But my latest podcast was something that I think not just victims of intimate partners who are narcissists, which we tend to discuss the most. But the victim who can be and wouldn't you know, my phone goes off while I'm live streaming. Just turn that down, guys. Okay, I can edit that one out. So, yeah, today I'm going to talk about the scapegoat child versus the golden child. So, if any of you are out there who have discovered that the reason you found yourself in the relationship is because you were abused by a narcissistic parent. And if that's you, then normally that's going to mean that you are the scapegoat child. So, why does the scapegoat child seem to be the one who ends up with an abusive partner? Why do they find themselves in a toxic relationship? Well, the answer is that that person has been pitted against, normally their golden child sibling, and never managed to get the approval of their narcissistic parent. And of course, they were always striving for the breadcrumbs of their parents' love. And they managed to find someone who mirrors that narcissistic parent who they are forever trying to please. So in their role as people pleaser, they find a partner who expects them to have no needs, a partner whose love is conditional upon you meeting their needs. And this is because, this is because the relationship with the toxic narcissistic partner is familiar. It's familiar to that relationship with their primary caregiver, and they're they're conditioned over their lifetime to believe that love and control are the same thing. When you have been abused by a toxic parent, when that's all you know, and that's what a family looks like, and that's what someone who loves you does to you, that's how they treat you, then that gets absorbed into your psyche, and you are conditioned to believe that that's all you deserve. And of course, when you come across someone who could potentially be a healthy partner for you, they are going to seem unfamiliar. They're going to seem boring. They're going to seem like someone who is just not your type, while all the while it's really your subconscious screaming at you that this person's not toxic. They're not giving you goalposts to outrun. And of course, that means that you're going to be always trying to please them and never expecting to have any needs of your own, because that's foreign to you. So someone who's healthy is going to seem boring. The way they treat you, the love they give you is going to seem abnormal. And I think that's the reason that the scapegoat child finds themselves in one toxic relationship with one narcissist after the other, because they find that anyone who's potentially healthy, they will find something wrong with. Their nose will be too big. They won't make enough money. They won't be funny enough. Well, all the while, it's their subconscious screaming at them that this person isn't toxic and they're not going to love bomb you and come on thick and strong. And often that's why these new relationships seem so boring. So, guys, just give me your comments below. Let me know what you think and what your experience is or has been with yourself or someone you know as the scapegoat child. Just getting back to my latest podcast where I spoke about the golden child versus the scapegoat child in terms of these roles that are set in stone by the narcissistic parent extremely early in the child's life, because this family is an organization. It's a cult, if you will. It's a, a a very evil, if you will, uh, dynamic they have, where all the abuse stays behind closed doors, and everyone on the other side of those closed doors thinks they're the most amazing family. So that's the image they want projected out. And behind the closed doors, of course, they're a narcissist. They've got to set up an organization where they receive maximum narcissistic supply. So to do that, remembering that children of narcissists are no different to anyone else, they're a source of narcissistic supply. They are objects, they're objectified like every other person on the face of the earth. So they're assigned roles. The golden child will be, an extension of the narcissistic parent, most likely to be like them. The scapegoat child will be the one who is normally the most sensitive, the most intuitive, and of course that makes them an easy target to bully and to be that vessel for the narcissist's projected shame, everything they think is wrong with themselves, or basically their true self that they bury and they mask with that false self. This is, hey, I'm amazing, I'm better than everyone else. That's projected onto the scapegoat child, and they become their the vessel that they can use as a dumping ground for everything they hate about themselves. So the scapegoat child normally grows up with extreme anxiety disorders, and these anxiety disorders start off very early on in life, simply because they learn very early, the scapegoat children, to be hyper vigilant to danger. They never know what will please their toxic parent, and they never know the consequences of their actions, good or bad. They don't know what will please that parent. So they're forever walking on eggshells. So they don't have any control over their life. With a lack of control comes anxiety, and that just doesn't go away when you become an adult. That anxiety gets worse. Of course, the scapegoat child is conditioned over their lifetime to believe that there's something wrong with them. And when they do have anxiety and they can never please the parent, it kind of becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy where the parent and a lot of the time the golden child will team up together, form an alliance to perpetuate that cycle. The golden child wants to maintain their position as number one child, the child who can do no wrong. And so it makes sense that they would sabotage their scapegoat siblings. So these children who are part of this organization can never please their parent. They're watching their golden child sibling receive all the love, the conditional love, and that to them is something that they're craving their entire lifetime, and it's something that they will never be able to get, because the narcissistic parent keeps shifting those goalposts. They keep, but the scapegoat child is extremely resilient. They get up again and again and again. They keep failing and they keep getting back up and trying. And that's another reason the narcissistic parent chooses them. They know that they will tolerate that abuse. So if that's you guys, please know that you were actually chosen by the narcissistic parent to be their scapegoat because of all the amazing qualities that you have, not because there's anything wrong with you. There's something a great deal wrong with them. And often you will have the whole family system against you. I speak to so many of my beautiful clients who will have the entire corrosive, sordid family who all want to maintain their reputation to the outside world. They'll want to retain that image, and they will all gang up on the scapegoat child to make them think there's something wrong with them, and they're just, the defective part of the family. And it's so sad when I see these adults now who are wanting nothing other than, the love of their family, and they don't understand why uh, their parent can't love them. And of course, it gets reinforced in them that, there must be something wrong with them because, oh gosh, I thought I turned it off, guys. It gets reinforced in them that there is something wrong with them because they can never do anything right, and they've got this, this whole family system against them. And you know what? I'm just going to turn. I thought I did it before, so yeah, you're now seeing me live, turning that rotten phone off. I thought I'd done that to begin with, but oh well, you live and you learn, and we're live, so these things happen. Okay, so yes, I speak to so many of my beautiful clients in my practice who will come up against an entire family. And this just reinforces that they are the defective part, and they will minimize the abuse. They'll come up with all of these coping mechanisms because it feels so painful to have their whole family against them when they've been craving love their whole life, and they feel ostracized and they've got no one, so they feel all alone, which is part and parcel of the abuse. So what does the scapegoat child do, who's really done nothing other than not accept the status quo of the family, come up against that person or that family? They've not engaged in the same toxic behaviors that the other family members do, where there's a complete lack of empathy, and they reward each other for bad behavior. Um, they're not like that. So, of course, they're viewed as someone who's not part of the family, or they're a faulty, defective part of the family. And because they feel ostracized and all alone, they will often go back to that toxic family because the toxic parent or parents will be reinforcing in them that they owe them. There's that fear, obligation, guilt. We birthed you, you owe us. We've got Kirsty Murdoch is there. Hi, Kirsty. Share, guys, if you can, the live stream. It always helps when we're live streaming. And yeah, don't forget, if you'd like to have a one-on-one session with me, I counsel all of my clients via Zoom worldwide. So just message me, and I'd love to be able to support you. You can see my website link in the bio on each of my pages. But getting back to that toxic, corrosive system where the child, or adult, I should say, scapegoat, will go back because they feel all alone. And they can't change who they are. So what they will have to do is to accept the behavior and lower even more the threshold for respect, which is probably non-existent, and develop even more coping mechanisms to, you know, survive the abuse that often they can't even define as abuse. So getting back to the scapegoat golden child roles. You've probably heard me talk a lot about triangulation on my podcast, Fake Love and Flying Monkeys, where the narcissist will bring in a third party, whether that person, we've got Robin Casperson is there. Hi, Robin. I'd love to have a one-on-one with you. You've helped me so much. Well, I would love to support you. So just find my email and my website, and the email will be on the website in the links and the bios, Robin, Kirsty, and I would love to be able to support you one-on-one. But getting back to those roles, the narcissist assigns roles virtually the second that child is born, or very shortly after. They will know. They will intuitively know, and they will put a stamp literally on the head of each child. You will provide me with this ego boosting supply in this way, and etc. etc. So with triangulation between the golden child and the scapegoat child, they'll be pitted against each other, which is not hard to do when the golden child is the one who's, you know, rewarded and who receives all the positive attention from their parent. And the scapegoat child watches that and can never please the parents. So, of course, there's going to be rivalry. As I said earlier, the golden child doesn't want to lose that position at the top of well, I should say the narcissist is at the top, but the golden child doesn't want to lose their position in terms of being in front of their scapegoat sibling. So they'll do everything to keep that position because they can see how awful it is for their sibling. Now, if you're an only child, you'll know that these roles will fluctuate. Okay. I often get asked by my clients and people on my live streams. By the way, we've got Haley, Emma, they're from New Zealand. Hi, Haley. Thanks for joining us all the way from NZ. Lovely to have you here. Let me know where you're from, guys. And please share if you can. So yeah, when you've got that triangulation going on, then you've got a system where siblings are highly unlikely to have any kind of loving bond. It's most likely to be a very, very negative or toxic connection. Why? Because that's the way the narcissistic parent has set it up for maximum supply. So they will ascribe those roles. Their children are objects, just like everyone else. They're objectified, and those roles will be ascribed so that another reason is when their children become adults, they've always got one person at least who will dispute the scapegoat child because they're always in a state of protecting themselves. So, excuse me, I've got the sniffles today, guys. I've got hay fever. The scapegoat child is going to talk. They're going to talk about their abuse, most likely. And the narcissist, any narcissist, is always in a state of thinking that they're going to be exposed. So they're always in protection mode, thinking 10 steps ahead. So they will have the golden child the siblings grow up, they can't stand each other much of the time, or the scapegoat child is forever trying to establish a positive connection with that golden child, but is always in a constant state of confusion because that sibling will be gaslighting them out of their reality because they are so dependent themselves on the breadcrumbs of that toxic parent. So the golden child is always going to dispute what the scapegoat child says. They will, when the scapegoat child says, "I had a horrible childhood. It was abusive. This is why I'm having all of these issues today." Perhaps they're trying to make their narcissistic parent accountable. The golden child will step up to protect that narcissistic parent. That's such a lie. I had the best childhood. We had the best childhood, and you're just ungrateful. And of course, they protect the reputation, the image of that toxic family. So everyone outside those closed front doors continues to think there's something wrong with the scapegoat. So, guys, if this is you and you feel like you were the scapegoat child in your family, and you're still, chasing those breadcrumbs and just never being able to make your family happy, and perhaps you found someone as an adult who mirrors your toxic primary carer, someone who is familiar to your toxic parent, then I want you to stop blaming yourself if that's what you're doing. Don't believe what the toxic family is saying. If it's just you and you're up against 10 individuals in your family and you seem to be the odd one out, don't think that you're the one who's got the issues. If you can clearly see these consistent patterns of behavior over space and time, because it is like a cult and they protect their own. And you are going to be viewed as someone who can destroy that image. So it's like, what example? Oh gosh, I don't even know if I should talk about this with what's going on at the moment. Okay, I'm going to kind of talk about this in a general way, but let's say that you can see that someone's been abused, okay? A friend, a loved one of yours is being abused, and or you yourself are being abused, and you want to tell the world that image you see of them, that's wrong. It is so wrong. This is who they are, okay? This is what they've done to me. And this person has got, maybe they own, the local TV station, or they own TikTok, or they own YouTube, or they, they can put out what they want, and no one's going to see what you say, even though it's true. No one's going to see it. Then they can say what they want, and this is what the narcissists in that toxic family are doing. So it's just you up against, it's kind of like David and Goliath, but don't make that, don't let that change your opinion of yourself. Don't base your self-worth on a toxic, corrosive family system who are just protecting their own because it's about power, and they want to, other than ruining their reputation, they'd rather destroy you, okay? Because their image is everything. So you will be, annihilated, and you will continue to get hurt if you think that they're going to change. So yeah, I hope that analogy helps. But if you've got this system and there's just a little old you, and you feel like no one's believing you in the family, that's because that family are so despicable. Basically, there's no empathy, there's no ethics, there's no morals. If you're an adult in an adult's body with an adult's intelligence, normally quite a high IQ, no empathy. It's all about you. It's all about power. It's all about image, reputation. You have that adult intellect, though. You can do anything. You don't care about hurting others as long as your reputation and your power is protected. It's kind of like, what was that theory that I studied, or most of you probably have studied if you did ethics at uni. It was actually a compulsory subject, which is kind of good. I think it's a good thing that we study ethics, but it really gave me some insight. This particular module that we did in ethics, which was to do with the what's it called, the utilitarian perspective. So I hope I get this right. The utilitarian perspective says that, or implies that, it doesn't matter how many people basically you hurt if the greater good is done. So I remember an example one of my professors gave was you can shoot, if you can shoot one person to save 100 people, then the utilitarian perspective would say that that's the greater good. So we need to do what the greater good is. But the problem, as you all probably think, is that who gets to decide what is the greater good? And normally the person making those decisions going, we know what's best for you, and we need to tell you what to do because you can't think for yourself, and we have all the answers. The people doing that will be the powerful people with no empathy and no morals and no ethics. So yeah, I was thinking about that, and it really resonated with me in terms of what a narcissistic individual will do, and the lengths they will go to maintain their power and to get what they want. If they believe, and this is where the like, who gets to decide who makes those decisions, you can't give that power to someone because it would be abused. This is why we need free speech and people are able to talk, whether you have differences of opinions, and no kind of censoring what we're saying, because the person in power, the narcissist, who says that their opinion is right, and often, well, 99% of the time, it won't be right. It'll be all about them. It certainly won't be taking into consideration the feelings, thoughts of other people. So I know I kind of got sidetracked there, guys, but think of that in terms of the system, the family, who will ostracize you, and don't think that you have to acquiesce and bend and become who and what they want, and continue to be their doormat. That you were chosen as you were chosen as a scapegoat child. Oh, we got TJ Cosby is there. Hi, TJ. You were chosen for that role because you're the opposite to the narcissist in your life. You're full of love and compassion. You have empathy, and it doesn't sit right with you when you see these individuals rewarding uh, um, people rewarding each other when they step over someone, or they get what they want because they feel entitled to it. They reward each other, and they protect that name, that image, at all costs, and don't let them do that at your expense. Yeah, you might be up against the machine, you might be up against the family toxic system, but if they are like that and they're ostracizing someone simply because you can expose them, then you're better off without them in your life. But that means grieving that family, those individuals. So I just thought I would touch base today. Now, guys, I would love it if you could share, as always. And don't forget to listen to my latest episodes of Fake Love, Flying Monkeys, my podcast, which you will find on YouTube, Spotify, everywhere. Spotify, Apple, it's on all the podcast platforms. So you can find it wherever you get your podcasts. And also, don't forget to get your copy of my best-selling book, Fake Love, Understanding and Healing from Narcissistic Abuse, available worldwide and available in Audible and Kindle. So lastly, guys, I will be doing lots more of these live streams pretty much nearly every day or every weekday. Probably I'll be doing 4 or 5 a week. So if listen out, look out for them. I'll advertise for the next one. And don't forget, if you would like to have a one-on-one counseling session with me, please just see my website, which you will find in the bio. And all my counseling sessions are online. I am a professional therapist, by the way, here in Brisbane, and I work exclusively with victims of narcissistic abuse, victims and survivors. So just flick me a message. You'll find my email on the website. And until the next live stream, I will give you this last little bit of encouragement, which is to always remember you are loved and you are worthy of so much more than a lifetime of fake love and flying monkeys. See you on the next live stream, guys.